So the owner of the tow truck overnighted me a brand new Motorcraft starter from his local dealer. Brand new, not remanufactured, so I'm going to bench test it before installing it on the truck. Simple way to do that, just connect the battery to the positive post to the starter case. And this is the control wire, so when this finds a positive, starter should engage and spin. Let's try that. Beautiful. Let me install that on the truck. I have to work outside. I was going to pull it in halfway, but the passenger side mirror couldn't even fold because it was rusted solid. So I'm going to swap it out on the gravel there, and then he wants me to address the reverse lights not working and those auxiliary bottom floodlights. So let's pop the starter in. Oh man, this starter is a tight fit. It does not come out the bottom. It comes out through the side. Get all these hoses out of the way. This is for probably for the whatever hydraulic system. Play a little Tetris. And out she comes. Alright, now let's put the new sucker in. Kind of throw it in there and then come from the bottom to orient it correctly. There we go. Alright, the sucker's in. Let's reinstall the battery. Let's see if this pig will fire up. First crank, no questions asked. I hope it will. Alright. Place your bets now. I think it'll fire right up. Yep. So, that's it. Brand new starter installed. The dealer can refund the crappy aftermarket one. Now let's do some bonus footage. Just take a look at these reverse lights. Auxiliary lights. So this light, this switch here is supposed to switch on those floodlights. They don't work. Alright, let's do some lighting checks. So I have the truck in reverse. It's parking brake, wheels are chocked. So the reverse lights should be on, they're not. And then the auxiliary switch number 3 is on. So the floodlights should be on, and they're not. I have the power probe extension lead, power and ground, coming all the way back to the truck. So all we need is a test light. And let's do some checks. So I have both lights unplugged. This one went to the floodlight, and then this one went to the reverse light. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's 2 plugs up here. So the test light so test light's grounded. Let's check for power at these connectors. I'm going to check all 4 pins. So this is the floodlight. We have no power on either pin. The reverse light. Okay, we do have power on the black pin. So are we missing a ground? Very easy check. Test light to battery positive now. If it finds a ground, it'll light up. On the floodlight, okay, this white wire looks like a good ground. Blue wire, look, the test light's dim and this floodlight turned on. So we're missing a power feed for the floodlights, and for the reverse lights it looks like we have good power and ground. It just might be a bad bulb. Let me check the reverse bulbs. Hooray, we just have a blown reverse bulb, 1156. Let me pop a new one in. Excellent. So we got one reverse light working. Pop this sucker back on. The screw's a little loose, I'm sure the other bulb is blown as well. Let's pop that one off. Alright, last step of the puzzle. The floodlights here, these work lights. So what I noticed was the wire right here, this is hanging down, and it's completely bare. You see copper. Now if that's shorted out, where is the fuse for these lights? I know the auxiliary switch is on, but there has to be a fuse somewhere. Now, I don't know if these are on the OE diagram. We can take a look, but I don't know if we'll find them there. Alright, took me a little while to find the wiring diagram for these. They're called upfitter relays and switches. So, upfitter switch, these are basically for custom customer installed add-ons. It's called customer access. Right here, diagram set 140. So we have 4 switches, and then you see upfitter relay 1 and relay 2. We're worried about relay number 3. So these go off the page. There's relay number 3, and the load side is fed by BCM fuse F9 10 amp. That's the one that I want to check right off the bat. And if you look up the fuse locations, was it F9 10 amp is going to be right there, kind of in the middle, right by the accessory delay relay. So let's go find F9, flip the switch, and see if the fuse is hot on both sides or if it's blown. I'm hoping it's blown. Alright, fuse 9 10 amp upfitter relay 3. It's not a 10 amp anymore. Someone already replaced it with a 15. It's right beside the accessory delay relay, and both sides of the fuse check out. So we didn't get lucky on that. What do we do next? I don't know where the wires go for, into the custom bed here. We could leave the switch on and just do a wiggle check, see if the fog lights flicker. I saw them flicker once when I first looked at this truck, so maybe we might get lucky, I don't know. Alright, so we're finally getting somewhere. Located the upfitter relay box. So we have relays, they're kind of weirdly numbered 2, 4, 3, and 1. So they correspond to the switches. So for example, this pin right here, if I turn switch number 1 on, that's the beacons. See, my test light lights up and I turn switch 1 number off. That works. And all these relays have a constant power at all times to the load side. That one, that one, that one, but not number 3, and that's the one that controls these lower floodlights. So what if I just provide that pin with the power through my 200 milliamp test light? Those are LEDs, so they should at least try to light up. Let's see. You see my test light's dim. If I turn number 3 off, so with a dim test light, these come on. And if I take my test light away, these go out. Okay, so we're almost done. I say almost. So somewhere between the fuse, which is good, and this power feed, which is not good, there's an open circuit. Fuse is not blown, it's not short to ground. C215. Let's find pin 3 on C215 and check both sides of that connector. So C215 looks like an 8-pin connector, and it says that behind left hand side of instrument panel under right hand side of instrument cluster. Okay, well, good luck finding that one. I'm going to take a look, see see if we can find it. Are there any other wires that goes through C215? Yeah, the one to relay Ford, that one's fine. So it must be the connector for this whole upfitter box. Alright, doing the same check at C215. You can see right there, there's a test light. And same exact result. So we don't have good voltage at C215 coming from the BCM. So on BCM C2280B, we can check that output, or the wire's broken. Alright, C2880, pin 1 and connector B. Same exact test with a little test light, 300 milliamp. It's dim, coming from battery power. With our switch 3 on, we have action on the floodlights. So the problem is in the BCM, that red wire is supposed to be hot all the time, coming from that 15 amp fuse, and it's not. So I think that's it. Might do a quick visual inspection on the body control module, but that's all one unit. We could easily tie in a fused battery power to that red wire from somewhere else so we can have his fog lights, but yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, visual inspection didn't disappoint. What do you guys see there? Oh yeah, we got some meltage. You can see the side of this connector is bulging out. So either we repair that pin. I don't know if the pin in the BCM, we could check if that's hot just by our test light. Let's see, from battery negative. If it finds a positive, it should light up. Yep. And that pin 1, top. Alright. Yep. Pin works, so it's just a problem with this connector. Try to salvage it, but it looks kind of crusty. Victory! Nice! Man, those suckers are bright. Full voltage. I just squeezed that pin back together, sprayed it with deoxit, and shoved it back in the BCM. That's it. This truck is fixed. All customer complaints addressed. Starter, lights. We got all the lights. This thing's lit up like a Christmas tree. Hell yeah. Alright, that's it for this one. It's getting cold. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Well, we can't blame Ford for having that pin melt. Check out the amp draw on this light. 6 amps. So it's 12 amps. That's why they put the 15 amp fuse in on a 10 amp circuit. And it melted the pin. So what we can do is just unhook one of these and leave one on. That way we'll keep that pin from burning up again. I don't want to keep these on too long.